Welcome to another edition of PACTV Community News. I'm Kim Mio, and this week we bring you to a science presentation in Duxbury.
If I had the option to go on more journeys, I would take them in a heartbeat. My favorite part of science is being in the field.
And we learn about a dam project in Plymouth.
The herring stock in this run, which used to be about 1 million fish a year, which is now 125,000.
I'm Julie Thompson, and we'll also learn about Pembroke's Water District.
You do bacteria samples every month, and if total coliform's picked up, it just gives you an idea that there could be something else going on.
And we'll meet a singer and songwriter from Kingston.
In the kitchen, I can hear them all buzzing.
PACTV Community News brings you to an unusual new eatery in Plymouth.
And the more I'm able to spread the word in the public, the more demand there is for the types of foods that we can grow in our local community.
And our arts and entertainment correspondent brings you upcoming events in our communities.
Town Talk features Duxbury this week. These stories and more are on this week's edition of PACTV Community News.
Duxbury Library's Salon Series presented a program called Science at Sea. It featured a presentation from a scientist and Duxbury native who participated in an international research expedition in the Arctic Ocean. PACTV Community News caught up with this Duxbury High School grad to hear more about her experiences.
So I was involved in an expedition to the Russian side of the Arctic called NABOS. NABOS stands for the Nansen and Amundsen Basin Observation System, and it's part of a larger Arctic observing network. And so I was aboard a Russian ship for 33 days. It was a Russian ship because most of the work was taking place in the Russian economic exclusion zone. So you have to be on a Russian ship, captained by a Russian with a Russian chief scientist. So it was a joint expedition between a US Arctic Research Center and a Russian Arctic Research Center. If I had the option to go on more journeys, I would take them in a heartbeat. My favorite part of science is being in the field, because that's what drew me to science in the first place, is being outside and looking at these things and asking questions that I can see. I might have a chance to go back to the Arctic if this work continues to be funded, and that would be phenomenal because the polar regions I find incredibly beautiful and incredibly fascinating. So I hope to stay within field oceanography. One of my favorite moments from the Arctic journey was the first time that I saw a polar bear. We had been in the ice for about 4 days, and everybody was on edge and trying, everyone wanted to see a polar bear, whether they had been to the Arctic 5 times or it was their first time. We would all stand out on the side, look over the ice. No one had seen any. We'd seen plenty of tracks, but no actual bears. And I just returned to my work when one of the Russian scientists, who had limited English, came over and grabbed me by the arm and couldn't speak, and he dragged me over to the rail and just shoved his binoculars into my hand and started pointing and just making noises that I didn't understand. And I looked, and there were 2 polar bears, a mother and I think they said it was about a 2-year-old cub, walking across the ice towards us. And you're prepared for something like that, but actually seeing something as majestic as a polar bear for the first time in the wild is just mind-blowing. It was incredible. If I had any advice for aspiring scientists, I would recommend to always think about what you see in the environment around you and question it, and don't be afraid to get things wrong. Science is all about thinking about things and almost being creative. It's far more creative than people think. It's not about getting the right answer every time. It's about asking the right questions, and the way that you ask the right questions is by taking these risks about lines of thought that might not end up being right. And it's a hard thing to learn, but once you kind of get over the fact that you don't have to be right all the time, it's really rewarding, and it allows you to do a lot more. So how did I end up involved? So like I said, I just started my master's work in oceanography. But up until now, all of the research that I've done and the systems that I'm familiar with are subtropical ocean systems. All my research up until now has happened in Bermuda. Complete opposite from the Arctic. But most people you would come across, if you could spend a week in Bermuda versus a week in Siberia, would choose Bermuda. I'm not one of those people. I love the cold. I've been fascinated with the polar region since I was little, cross-country skiing in the town forest. I would pretend that I was Shackleton and other polar explorers. So if there's anyone to send to the Arctic for over a month, it would be me. This is an example of one of the sensors that would be attached to a mooring. It looks very unimpressive, right? It's just this kind of black, small thing, and we're calibrating it at the moment. But this is a nitrate sensor, and it's powered by a lithium battery, and it will give real-time data of dissolved nitrate, for 2 years. It's really, really incredible. And this type of technology was new for me. I never worked with it before, so that was mind-opening. One of the other coolest things was that any of the ice work, all the equipment would be deployed over the side on these huge cranes. So this was everything from, the buoy itself to the equipment, and also the people would stand on a pallet and be lowered onto the ice. And only 7 could be on the ice at a time, because that's how many could fit on the pallet. And should a polar bear come, they didn't want to leave anyone on the ice. It was only 7.
Jessica Dondero, a Kingston native, has taken her singing and songwriting talents all the way to Nashville. PACTV Community News was able to catch up with her at a recent local performance at Boston's Hard Rock Cafe to learn more about this artist's life down south.
I'm from Kingston, Massachusetts. I graduated from Silver Lake Regional High School in 2007. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm currently living in Nashville, Tennessee. I love New England, and I love Boston, and I love Kingston. I realized, though, if I wanted to further my career in singing and songwriting, I would have to make a big move to one of the more entertainment capitals, such as California, New York City, or Nashville. And the best match for me was definitely Nashville, Tennessee, because the community is so amazing. Everyone there is very welcoming. Everyone wants to help you out. It's very accepted to co-write down there, which means just writing and being creative with other artists and songwriters as well. And I knew that that was probably the best place for me to kind of uproot and start a new life there. I taught myself guitar at age 18, and I started to kind of just film myself on my computer doing covers of my favorite songs on the radio. And my little sister actually found some of the videos on my computer and suggested that I put them on YouTube. So I did a couple different covers, singing and playing guitar, and I got a lot of really good feedback from YouTube. And through that, I just kind of continued putting my own lyrics and words to chords that I was playing on the guitar, and just kind of developed into songwriting. I really didn't even know what I was doing at the time. Everyone thinks that Nashville, Tennessee is just country music. And where it is the music city capital, that Nashville actually offers a lot more than just country music. It has a lot of folk, it has a lot of R&B, a lot of rock and roll, and there's just so much different kind of genres of music and different people being creative that you have that capacity, or you have that option to be very creative and try out different things. And it's a great place to kind of just challenge yourself and not just country music. I play a lot of different shows in Nashville, Tennessee, the most common being what's called a writer's round. And that means that it's just you and your guitar acoustically, and you go to the venue, and you and a couple other people are on sharing the same stage, and you just kind of present the audience with your own original music that you either wrote yourself or that you co-wrote with other artists or songwriters. I do those at least 3 times a week down in Nashville, and those are really fun. You get a lot of feedback from the audience. And my favorite show actually that I most recently had done was in Boston, Massachusetts at the Hard Rock Cafe. And there we did the writer's round style for the first half of the show. And the second half of the show was full band covers. And that was put on by the New England to Nashville networking group. That was founded by Matt Casey, and so he pulled a couple of the country artists in Boston, Massachusetts, as well as the country artists down in Nashville that are from Boston, and together kind of all collaborated with our own styles, and we put on a really good show, I think.
There's flies in the kitchen. I can hear them all buzzing, but I ain't done nothing since I woke up today. I'm the kind of person who's to work in the morning and come home in the evening with nothing to say. Make me an angel that finds someone lonely. Make me a poster on the old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to believe in this living. It's just a hard way to go, yeah.
The system for delivering clean, safe drinking water to residents of Pembroke and surrounding towns is a complex map of underground wells, pipelines, and treatment facilities. Pembroke residents get their water from underground, but water from Silver Lake and Big Sandy Ponds supplies many towns in our area. PACTV Community News recently visited the folks who run Pembroke's treatment facility to get a closer look.
This is basically the nerve center of the treatment system of the district of Pembroke. The first thing that I do when I come in the morning, I check out our SCADA system, which is right over here. On our computer here, I can tell this here is our tanks and what the level of our tanks are. These are our pumps, and it tells what pumps are running. And this here is the height of the tanks. We don't use this anymore, but this is an old, what they call the BIF board, and it controls the backwashing the filters out there. We don't do that. That is now controlled by SCADA system.
This is the water distribution map for the town of Pembroke. It's got the sizes of all the water mains, locations of the hydrants. We've got 4 gravel-packed wells around town that are in current use, where all our water comes from. We've got all our wells are in the same general location. We've got one off Route 27 by Route 36. We've got another well off of 36 across from West Street. We've got the water filtration plant, which is also off of West Street and Toole Trail. And then here down at Glenwood Road, we have a well that's a raw water well, and that just pumps through the woods over to the filtration plant, which treats that well also. It's just got about a 2,000-foot raw water, 12-inch water main, and it runs underground behind the bogs and over into the filtration plant, and it gets treated over there. It's all groundwater. There's no surface water in Pembroke for our system. The surface water is Silver Lake, which goes to Brockton, and then Big Sandy, which goes to Abington Rockland. And Brockton actually supplies Hanson, Whitman, everything that comes from Pembroke on the way to Brockton. They service other towns that don't have enough adequate supply.
Basically over here is our chart recorders. What we use these for is these really just tally water usage. This is called a spectrophotometer, and so by me getting samples of water and adding different reagents, I am able to get the parameters of how much iron is in the water, how much manganese is in the water, and we also do the fluorides.
Well, the biggest thing is if hydroseeders or somebody illegally tie into hydrants and you get a cross connection and a backflow. Homeowners usually don't have a problem other than, say for instance, you had your hose in a swimming pool and there was a fire, and if they hooked on and caused a backflow condition, it could actually suck the water out of the pool into the distribution system.
Down this way is our chemical room. Big bulk tanks of KOH. KOH, potassium hydroxide. What that does is that adjusts our pH. The pH coming out of the groundwater that comes into the building here is probably about a 6, 6.5 pH. We like to keep it at 7.5. The KOH is a basic material, and so what that does is that rises the pH of the raw water to get it up to where we want it to be.
You do bacteria samples every month, and if total coliform's picked up, it just gives you an idea that there could be something else going on. You have to increase sampling and take care of it. And there wasn't any big issue. That's why you have 30 days to notify the people. There's no boil water order or anything. It just lets you know to be aggressive and do more sampling and check things out.
Over here, that right there in the corner is our pump for this well. Okay, this is what's pumping all the water up out of the ground.
No, we actually just had DEP come in and they did a sanitary survey when they come in and they check all your pump stations and all your elevated tanks, and they got a big checklist of everything they're looking for, and there was no issues found. So we're just waiting for that written report to come back.
Take that fluoride, put it into the saturator, and then the saturator, the water and the fluoride act together, turn it into like a slurry, goes up through the pump and into the system.
We have a company that comes in and they inspect fire lines and everything and make sure backflow devices are functionable and tested and need to be replaced or not. So we're on top of it.
Town Brook is a 1.5-mile stream in Plymouth that provided drinking water to the Pilgrims. The off Billington Street Dam removal project is moving right along, and PACTV Community News took a look at how things are progressing. This is one of several dams being removed, allowing fish such as herring to swim upstream each year to lay thousands of eggs before returning to the ocean. It has been over 300 years since these streams could be navigated by the fish. This is the second of 4 dams being removed as part of a town-wide effort to restore these waterways. Plymouth Selectman John Mahoney was on hand to tell us about how important these projects are to the health of our environment.
A decade ago, there was a smaller dam over here that the town removed. And then obviously in late 2013, this was removed. This is about a $1.5 million project. As you can see, I think they're about halfway through this project. The residents over here are going to get a new bridge, they're going to get new water lines, new sewer lines, and then I think after they're finished over here, the old mill pond, the impounded sediment will be removed. I think that's going to be taken down about 4 foot, and then you're just going to go back to the original stream bed, going back obviously about a couple hundred years. Can you get the herring stock in this run, which used to be about 1 million fish a year, which is now 125,000. If you can allow those 125,000 up to Billington Sea to properly reproduce, can you get this run back up to 300,000, 500,000, 700,000 fish? And if you can do that, obviously when the fish go out to sea, tuna, stripers, bluefish are eating these fish. So, you know, it's all part of the cycle, and this is what we can do on the mainland to support the fishing industry out of the harbor.
If you're in the mood for healthy food on the go, then you're in for a treat. Martha Stone, a Plymouth resident, is well known for her soups, participation in local farmers markets, and of course her healthy cooking. Martha has taken her talents one step further and has opened a walk and drive-up stop in Benny's parking lot. Martha's is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. and you have to see it to believe it, and PACTV Community News did just that.
This is Martha's, is the name, and I'm a drive-through walk-up takeout place where you can get good local food, lovingly prepared. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too. My enterprise of operating here and preparing my food here supports at least a dozen or so different farm families in southeastern Massachusetts, and I'm pretty proud of that. Would you like potato sandwiches on seeded spelt, oat, honey oat, or wheat? This gives me an opportunity to do local on a daily basis that's pretty accessible to a pretty mainstream group of people. I mean, it's just a win-win situation all around.
Hi, how are you today? How you doing? Great, thanks.
I'm usually up at about 5, get cooking usually by 6 or 7. Then I get here at 10:30 to open at 11:30. So I always have soups, and I'm doing 4 soups a day right now. Like today I have clam chowder because it's Friday. Chili is nice and hearty. It's local beef from DeFort Farm. The chicken is from Plato's Harvest Farm. All of the vegetables are local and organic. I always have a vegan option because I have a lot of vegetarian and vegan customers.
I have seeded spelt bread, wheat or honey oat.
I'm receiving an excellent reception from the people that come. Have a lot of regulars already. I have easily a half a dozen people that are here almost every day.
$9, please. Anything else for you today? Cool.
Okay. I'm just having a really good time at this. It's small, it's tiny, but it's a one-person operation. You know, it's all me. And so what I give people is giving them a part of me.
The Lower South Shore region is chock full of amazing opportunities for fun as we look at what's in store for early spring arts and entertainment. The Bay Players Community Theater Organization presents Neil Simon's classic, The Odd Couple, directed by Bay Players President Philip Markella from March 21st through the 29th, with performances on Fridays and Saturdays at 8 p.m. A winner of the Best Playwright Tony Award, this classic comedy features a sarcastic group of card-playing guys, along with divorcee Oscar Madison and his neat freak friend Felix Unger. For tickets, visit bayplayers.org. All shows will be held at First Parish Church on Route 3A in Duxbury. An arts institution in Plymouth has reignited their long-standing love of theater, providing the community with new productions this year. The Priscilla Beach Theater will present a beloved Valentine-themed play, Love Letters, by A.R. Gurney, for one special weekend only on Friday and Saturday, February 14th and 15th at 7:30 p.m. This delightful play is comprised of personal letters exchanged over the lives of two people who grew up together, but later in their separate lives continue to share conferences as pen pals. For more information, visit pbtheater.org and catch a performance at 796 Rocky Hill Road in Plymouth. The highlight of our arts preview is a two-town appearance by the African Children's Choir next month under the direction of Plymouth-based choral educator Kathy McMinn. These touring ensembles travel the world, performing to support the education and scholarships of needy African children. The choir will perform in collaboration with choral students at South Shore Conservatory and with Plymouth Public Schools. All proceeds from the concerts benefit the African Children's Choir Organization, which utilizes music to provide food, shelter, education, and medical relief to children in need in Africa. 2 concerts are in store locally. The first on Saturday, February 8th at 7 p.m. at the Performing Arts Center at Plymouth North High School. On Monday, February 10th at 7 p.m., the choir performs with the Conservatory's Pure Treble and Pure Harmony choruses at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center, 73 Alden Street in Duxbury. For tickets to the Plymouth performance, contact the Visual and Performing Arts Office at 508-830-4469. For tickets to the Duxbury performance, visit sscmusic.org. These 2 concerts are the only 2 performances the African Children's Choir will offer in the New England region during their tour, and promise to be a magnificent entertainment opportunity for children and adults alike. I'm Michelle McGrath, PR consultant to the arts. Thanks for tuning in today for PCN's Arts and Entertainment News.
Hi there, I'm Rainey Reed, the town manager for the town of Duxbury. I'd like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. A couple of things that folks might find of interest. Firstly, town meeting will be held on Saturday, March 8th at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center, which starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. Town meeting preparations are currently underway. We have just under 35 articles on the warrant for the annual town meeting, and we're in the process of still developing the special town meeting warrant. Also, this year at town meeting we will be using new methods of voting, which is an electronic handheld voting device. A meeting will be held at the Senior Center on Thursday, January 30th. There will be 2 sessions. The first will be 1:30 p.m. and the second will be at 7 o'clock p.m. We encourage anyone interested in learning more about this technology, which will be used on a trial basis at the March Town Meeting, to please join us for your familiarization with the equipment and a live demonstration. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching PACTV Community News. Replay times are listed at pactv.org. Click on the PCN logo to watch each complete edition or individual story.
See us on YouTube by searching for the PACTV Community News channel. Also, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to receive previews each week with links to all of our stories.
Thanks for watching, and join us next week for another edition of PACTV Community News.